All right, welcome everyone to Wednesday night here in the IWM Broadcast Network. We've got the IWM Cup Series opening event here at Daytona. You saw it Sunday. Now see it all over again here on Wednesday nights. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rick Souza here with Noah Evans in the booth. And Noah, this is going to be a start to a great season.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like starting your season off with a Super Bowl, one of the biggest races of the year for these guys. Even if it's not the full 200 miles, still winning at Daytona to start the season off can make a statement for your team or for yourself, even as a driver, putting yourself in contention. So we're going to see a lot of bold moves tonight, maybe an upset winner. We know how Daytona can be, but it's gearing up to be a great season here for the IWM Cup Series.
So practice is underway here, just about 5 or so minutes left in practice, which should give us just enough time to go through what's the event tonight and talk a little bit about what we're going to see. So let's talk about tonight. Here's what we got.
About a 2.5 mile track here at Daytona. Beautiful 80-degree day. Wish we had that up here, but 67 degrees is currently the track temperature right now. We will have a little bit of 11-mile-an-hour wind. We'll see what direction that'll go. We saw it affect the Cup Series a little bit on Sunday. 3 green-white checkered attempts. About 28 to 32 laps is going to be your initial fuel window. Stage break at lap 33. Only 4 sets of tires to work with, so that's going to give you just amount of time to kind of just get some fresh rubber in and try to compensate for the tire wear that this track is going to have. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys will run this fuel strategy here. Expecting probably about 2 or 3 pit stops, I think, would be the max tonight.
And with this league, there are no fast repairs. So if you damage your car, if you get into a wreck, and you're trying to hope you can get it repaired, there's no quick fix. You've got to wait in your pits till the iRacing trolls are able to get you back out on the track, or not. You can pack it up and head on to race 2 if you get so damaged you can't continue.
Yeah, that'll play out, and like we said, Atlanta's a super speedway as well, so if you have bad luck at super speedways, might not be looking forward to next week, but Atlanta's a whole different ballgame from Daytona, a little bit shorter, just a little bit quicker, but nonetheless still a fun track to go to.
All right, with that, let's talk briefly about what we see are the keys to tonight's event.
Yeah, so pit road entry is really going to be a main thing here. We saw it in the duels, and we saw it on Sunday as well. Guys either spinning out or hitting somebody coming onto pit road. We'll see how that'll play out tonight. Teammates, these guys are really going to be trying to stay together even in qualifying. You really want to kind of stick to your guys, stick to your teammates, and just try to be all close together so you can be there at the end. And number 3, obviously, staying out of trouble. This track's notorious for the big one, and you can't win it if you don't, stay out of it. So it's going to be interesting to see when that'll strike. Will it be at the start? Will it be at the end? We're going to have to find out here in 100 laps of racing.
Yeah, we've got 41 entries so far. We're still waiting for it all to click here to head from practice into qualifying, but a lot of entries tonight. Everybody's excited. The buzz in the Discord and in the league has been pretty intense. A lot of cool things. We've got some great graphics for this 2026 season. The guys in the broadcast truck put together some nice graphics to help us show you the teams and who's what and where on the track, and a lot of cool graphics that we should make for an interesting broadcast.
Going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. All right, qualifying. Practice is wrapping up before we head over to qualifying. Oh, already a little bit of action here in practice as a few cars just get together there. But again, practice, you can damage that car, and it's perfectly fine for qualifying and for the race. But in the race, you're stuck with whatever you got.
Yep.
All right, looks like just about 2.5 minutes before we go live. So really looking forward to this tonight, Noah. We've really got really some great drivers this year. If you've watched this series before, formerly with the Tech for Troops Cup Series. This year it's the IWM Cup Series. You saw some great racing. And one of the things we're noticing here in the pre-race, looking through the roster of this event, there are some amazing drivers, great iRatings. That's how iRacing differentiates you with who you're with. There are some notable names in the field who compete regularly in iRacing and a lot of league events and money racing. So there's just a good diverse group of guys out here, and should make for some interesting racing.
Absolutely, and we got a lot of good names in here. We saw John Ledger in here. He is currently second on the practice board. He won the exhibition race, I guess you could call it, just a couple weeks ago in an outstanding, nearly 4 wide finish there. You have Walker Thomas, Jordan Weaver coming back to the series. Chuck Van Scoyk coming back to the series as well with Goat Racing Diecast, and good to see that team back on as well. A couple drivers making their return. One notable is Ryan Pittman, was off of the league last season. He makes his return tonight here at Daytona. He'll be with Southern E-Motorsports.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, if you've watched this league over the years, you've seen Ryan Pittman be wildly successful in the past. Hope he can bring that magic back to the 2026 season.
Yeah, and one thing I've been watching as well is you look at a lot of the guys who are pushing so far, a lot of them are Chevys, and we know iRacing has just updated the Chevy body to what it's actually like in the Cup Series, and we saw the Chevy struggle to push on Sunday as well, so we'll see how that'll play out as these guys try to feel this car out a little bit and see if they can get a square push.
See Jeremy Brown right now on track in that 46 with Elite Motorsports, getting a push from the 17 out there. And you're right, that's Jared Wishon. Those are teammates trying to figure out just exactly how this body style is going to work. But we shall see. Just a short couple of seconds left before this practice ends, and we go into qualifying. And just like that, through the magic of iRacing, that wraps up practice.
And qualifying going to be important here. You got 5 minutes to do it. It takes about a minute to go around this track. 2-lap qualifying, so obviously you kind of get a throwaway lap there just in case. But it's going to be, I think qualifying is going to be a lot more important than these guys think here.
Absolutely. So as Noah said, the first lap you'll get out here as you come off of pit road and onto the track. That's your opportunity to build up some speed. Really, the first lap is what typically is your fastest lap. Now, what these guys will turn in qualifying as a single car is nothing compared to what they'll do racing in a pack.
Yeah, about 10 to 20 miles an hour slower. You'll see speeds of about 180, 185 here. It's single car, but as soon as we get to, going 3 wide, 4 wide, whatever it is, you'll see a lot more, 200, possibly 204, I think is the highest recorded speed so far in the next gen. But you'll see a lot higher speeds as we get more grouped up.
On board with J.R. Houston as he qualifies at number 20.
You can see there are some guys opting for the high line, opting for the low line. You can see he's already up into 5th gear, about 170, about getting to 180 here. He's currently climbing up. Here we'll see what he can do. Interesting seeing some of these guys run the top line. In qualifying, usually the bottom line is the quickest way around this track, but we see some guys use the top line to build some heat in the tires. We'll see how this will play out here as he goes to the bottom. Let's see if he'll stick with it.
Yeah, I'm guessing that was his warm-up lap, which he did pretty well with that high line, and here is sticking right to the to that double yellow right there. Run your tires just within a foot of that. fastest way around this track.
And you'll see some of the guys dip their tires down just a little bit into that yellow line there. I mean, that's a minuscule amount of grip, but it can make all the difference, especially at a track like this where qualifying is so tough to do. It's almost like an art form. So important here at Daytona.
All right, track is populating. We'll see what right now Justin Lewis has the fastest time so far.
Yeah, Justin Lewis, always a contender in the IWM Cup Series. Good to see him back out here. Stone goes to the top of the list. This will be
just like that. Garrett Johnston jumps ahead by a fraction of a second over his teammate, Alex Linney. Just thousandths of a second separate those drivers.
Yeah, it's just that close. I mean, it really is so hard to tell early on who's going to be kind of the better car here. I mean, it's Daytona also. It really is just hard to tell. But we'll see how this will go. This will be interesting to see.
All right, looking at the board, there's just a handful of drivers who have yet to qualify. There's only about 30 seconds left. The number of drivers just taking the opportunity. They're not going to qualify. They're perfectly fine just hanging out in the back of the pack. And interestingly enough, it's mostly all the GOAT Racing Diecast and GOAT Racing Customs team. They're all back there.
Yeah, this will be an interesting strategy for sure. I kind of get what they're going to try to play out. It will be awesome to watch them execute this live for sure. So this is going to be this is an interesting strategy by them, but I'm excited to see how this goes.
All right, that's it for qualifying. Qualifying is wrapping up. As soon as we have ourselves a grid, we will bring that to you. All right, I see cars. I see a grid. Let's go ahead and bring this grid up.
All right, on pole for the high banks of Daytona in P1 is Garrett Johnston in the number 15 machine. To his outside, it'll be the Welsh native of Alex Linney. Row number 2, it'll be William Corinne for Southern E Motorsports and Justin Horton in P4. P5 is Jared Wishon in the number 17, and P6 in the number 5 is Greg Stone. P7 is Nathan Yarnell. P8 is Zach Lindgren. Rounding out the top 10 is Michael Anthony in the 14 and Brian L. Jones in the Ford machine.
All right, in P11 in row 6, you got Jordan Weaver and Justin Lewis. Row 7 brings us the 51 of Kyle Smalley and the 14 of Jeremy Brown. Row 8 brings us Matthew Grisham in the 10 and Casey Herschel to the outside in the 49. In row 9, Wyatt Gray and Andrew Palesci. And finally in row 10, Pete Woodrum and Walker Thomas. But folks, we're only halfway done.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of these 10 drivers. Here's Ty Bostick in the 22 machine. In 21st, Austin Call in the 11 machine will be in 22nd. 23rd will be Nathan Carroll in the 63. 24th will be Marco Berube in the 99. Row number 13 will be John Ledger, our exhibition race winner. He'll be starting 25th, and Todd Merkel in 26th. 27th is David Watts in the 54. And 28th is Maxwell Caldwell in the 94. And rounding out this top 30 is Marcus Adams in 29th and Luke Bullard in the 3 machine in 30th.
All right, in row 16, Jordan Fisher and Philip Van Ortwick. Row 17 brings us J.R. Houston and Roberto Ramirez. Row 18, we've got Matthew Wood and Calvin Allison. In row 19, you've got Charles Van Scoik and Ryan Pittman. And in 20th, Aaron Jackson and Aiden Lucas. 21st, you've got Cody Sturgill and Maurice Burnett. And finally, in row 22, Sammy Harrell.
And a stacked field of cars. And like you said, those GOAT Racing guys in the back there, going to be a really bold strategy to play off.
Yeah, they've got 8 drivers back there. They're all going to run together. It's not, again, this is Daytona, so, you know, if you've got a pack of 8 or 10 drivers driving well together in the back, you can make a run at the to the front at any point.
Right, and it'll be, when those guys get hooked up, we've seen it before. They are a force to be reckoned with up front. So it's going to be really fun to watch these guys slice through this field.
Yeah, right now, though, you do have the factory HJ guys, Garrett Johnson, Alex Linney, and Justin Horton, basically 1, 2, and 4, dominating that front row.
Yeah, Corinne, the lone wolf there in third in the 81 machine. We'll see how he'll slice that field, slice that team up there. Here we go. The opening race of the 2026 IWM Cup Series. This is Daytona, as real as it gets. We are underway from Daytona.
All right, green flag waves, and Garrett Johnson leads this field.
Johnson leads us down in the 1 and 2. We are side by side here going into turns 1 and 2. It'll be Johnson, Linney, Corinne, Horton, and for right now it is Jared Wisham. That rounds out your top 5, and this field is picking up speed down the back straightaway.
All right, some movement there on that outside line, making a move. A little bit of an off-center push there. You got to be super careful because these cars will just, that rear end will spin right out from underneath you.
Yep, and that is certainly a sight to see right there. A full field of 41 cars here at Daytona, and it's stretching all the way back into turns 3 and 4 there. You can see a long line of cars, and any one of them could bring home the Daytona 250 win tonight.
All right, solid move on that outside line. They drop down. That's the 42 and the 37. That's Alex Linney taking over the lead from Justin Horton in the 37. And Garrett Johnson is in third, so they're nose to tail, those 3 drivers. And little move to the center there now puts, trying to get a number on that car. I think that's the 81 of William Corinne to the outside.
Jump up there with Greg Stone in the 5. They are trying to fight their way up to the front.
Solid 2x2 racing here. 5 to the outside and that high line. 42, the 37, the 15, all factory factory HJ Motorsports there dominating that inside line.
Really good teamwork. That's going to be the name of the game tonight. And we're going to see it hopefully with the GOAT Racing diecast team. A lot of good cars up in front here. Still, obviously, in my opinion, way too early to tell who's the winner. But look at that line of cars they're stretching on that inside line there. But that top side's still hanging with them. Still not single file. They're going to do everything they can to keep that outside line rolling.
Yeah, they're going to need some help if they're going to want to stay up there. But really, 5 cars, that's all you need to really cut your way through this air.
Take a look at the number 5 machine. That's Greg Stone, the Rockingham native, currently pushing a teammate of his, and William Corinne, the 81 machine, and a big push there from the inside line. You can see how much momentum they just got. And those teammates pushing that outside line is just going back, sinking like a rock. They're going to try to pick up people as they go.
They are
falling.
Yep, slipping back a couple car lengths here as Alex Linney leads this race out in front with Justin Horton and Garrett Johnson, all three factory HJ race team. That line on the top, Noah has fallen back significantly. They're going to need a lot of help to make it up anything here.
Yeah, they have lost a lot of momentum. They're going to have to start picking up cars as quick as they can or start falling in line. They've dropped almost 10 spots from where they were originally. You can see really nobody wanting to go with them, as it is very visible that top line is moving. Look at the 5 machine there of Stone trying to get that inside as quick as he could. Corinne will fall in, and they leave that top side.
Unfortunately, that hangs a couple drivers out to dry as they're now looking for a spot. The 2 finds a home. That's Merkel. I think that's Matthew Greichen there in that number 10 factory HJ machine there. He's finally getting down on that inside line, and we're single file here, Noah.
Yeah, single file at Daytona. It's almost like old times here, and we'll see. Well, I think later on we'll see that outside line starting to kick up. But for right now, this is a fuel mileage race as far as these guys are concerned. 33 laps, 28 to 33 laps is the pit window, and it's going to be kind of a long time to get there. I wouldn't say you'd have to rush to get to pit road. Only lap 7. You still got a lot of time left. Caution comes out. That's going to change things a little bit. But you have 33 laps lap 33 is the stage break. So, obviously, no hurry to get there.
Right, and how this stage break will work, the stage yellow will come out when the 10th car, the final point achieving car, crosses completes lap 33. So you'll see we'll be in lap 33, but not until the 10th place car crosses the start finish line will the yellow come out. And the pits will be closed for 2 laps prior to that caution coming out.
A couple hood decals I'm seeing creeping up into this top 5 here. It's the Balls Out Racing guys.
Number of drivers on pit road already. Wood, Van Scoik, Aaron, all the GOAT Racing guys are pitting early.
That is something I did not expect.
Well, let's do some math here, because if the stage is 33 and your lap estimate is only 28 to 30, you got to pit sometime, right?
Yeah, and I think now looking at the strategy, I think they know now that everybody's going to come down pit road at some point. If they can have the most amount of fuel, they have the stage and they have the stage win in hand for at least one of their guys. So we'll see how that'll play out as they come off pit road just fine.
Yeah, my math says right around 28, 29 laps. But, again, that is all going to depend on where you're racing. If you're in a pack, well, maybe you're not burning as much fuel and you're getting slightly better mileage. But if you're out front, you're flat out, hoofing it here. So you're going to burn up some gas.
Yeah, your fuel mileage will get a lot better as you go back. A graphic that Fox Sports showed, the 7th car back gets, I think it was about 70 to 80% better fuel mileage because of that air coming over them. So we'll see how that'll play out. If iRacing physics can tell that. But for right now, it is the GOAT Racing guys on pit road first and off pit road. And they are getting caught quick.
Yep, absolutely. 11 laps of our 33 down.
Yep, and those GOAT Racing guys, they'll get their lap back when they pit. So we'll see when that'll come back, and that's forcing this whole field to move up a lane.
Yeah, they're not exactly, the GOAT Racing guys are a little bit stretched out here. A couple of them may have gotten left behind a bit.
Yeah, I think at this point early on, it's kind of every man for himself. A lot of shaking up there.
Yeah.
Up in front, wow.
42 got an odd bump from the 37. That's teammates really moved his, rear of that car around.
You may see, I see glimpses of it. I see glimpses of a top lane forming.
I think that's balls out.
Yeah, I think that's the balls out racing guys.
Yeah, Michael Anthony and Jordan Weaver up there.
And if Michael Anthony wants to go up there, he needs to make his decision pretty soon because he's getting left behind by those guys in the next couple of laps. If they can't get that top, if they get that top run going, that leaves him the odd man out with that team.
Number of GOAT Racing guys sprinkled in there as well on that high line. A couple of different packs here, kind of breaking up a little bit here after 13 laps. You've got this group, which is the lead pack. You're then dropping back to, I think, the 63 of Nathan Carroll. He's back here. That's 25th back here as these guys are racing around. That's Nathan Carroll, Ty Bosick, Luke Blower, some of the Southern E Motorsports guys back there. Also the Unite Motorsports drivers are back there as well.
Yeah, they got a long way to go to get up front, but they're not in a hurry too bad right now. They're in prime spot if they do decide to pit soon. You got David Watts up there, Phil Van Nortwick, Berube, Bostic, Carroll, like you said, and a lot of good drivers up here, but they are long separated from that lead pack.
You can see the gap right there. It's about 4 seconds, that pack that's behind there. About 5 drivers are taking that outside line, looking to try and make something out there. 3 wide for a moment here, trying to figure out what they're going to do. You can go 3 wide here at Daytona.
Yeah, thankfully it's not a track, unfortunately, not wide enough for 4 wide. We shall see. One thing to take a look at here, if you can see that lead pack just barely up in front there, you have 3 GOAT Racing guys there. They're still having to pick up one. It's the 43 machine of Sammy Harrell. So they got a long way to go to pick him up, and as well as Maurice Burnett there in the 8.
Sammy Harrell and Maurice Burnett, all those guys get caught in that when they pitted and get a little bit run over there, but they'll make again that lap up once this rest of this field makes its way down onto pit road. Yeah, I think that the fact that we run 75% fuel in this, and we have stage cautions which happen at 1/3 of the race, really sets up some bold strategies here at the front end of the race.
Yeah, that 75% fuel definitely changes things a little bit, and it definitely shortens that fuel window, which is probably why those GOAT Racing diecast guys decided to pit when they did, knowing they could possibly get a stage win under their belts if they pitted early on. They kind of pitted at the perfect time. It'll fall in right about with when we get our stage break and with the fuel mileage prediction as well.
All right, 17 laps complete, just past the halfway point of the stage. Continuing, Alex Linney out in front, Justin Horton in second, Garrett Johnson in third. We got on board with Garrett Johnston take a peek from his vantage point inside that factory HJ car.
Really smooth on that wheel, not having to make a whole lot of adjustments there. He has to be picked up a lot there. He's up in the 190s now. Like we said, huge speed difference from qualifying. This factory HJ team really putting the work in here.
Yeah, about a
Keep an eye on Garrett Johnson.
About a 4-second lap time difference between qualifying and racing.
Keep an eye out on Johnson and that team tonight with Factory HJ. Going into this, really looking good so far, so good.
You can already see just through that data on the left hand, that chart, Garrett has already led a lap. He fell back as low as P6 and was up in front. So,
you know, unfortunately with the 500, sometimes the worst place to be is in first. You kind of want to hang back just a little bit, see what happens. You get a lot better fuel mileage back in this pack, but the only drawback to that is that you're at a higher risk of getting in the big one.
Yeah, it's almost like if you're in the lead as we're coming through the last or a few final laps, you almost feel like you're about to get set up.
Yeah, and we saw it with the 500. A lot of the big ones this past Sunday happened up in the front of the field, not in the middle, not in the back, up in the front. So it's going to be interesting if we'll see the same thing. Maybe not. We'll find out in these next couple of laps here, but we have 15 to go in stage 1.
All right, laps continue to tick away here. We expect all of the field, based on the calculations that we have and what we've already seen with the GOAT Racing drivers, that everyone will need to get a splash of gas to continue under this green flag condition.
Lenny up in front. It is Justin Horton, Garrett Johnston, Jared Wishon, Nathan Yarnell. That's your top 5. And this is kind of looking like that old style NASCAR racing, kind of spread out, single file, everybody trying to get up with their teammates, manufacturers, teammates, friends, whoever it may be. Got to put yourself in the best spot here coming up to the pit road cycle, which we will see hopefully soon. We're only on lap 21 now, so we'll start seeing that pit road cycle come in about 5 or 6 laps maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, I think a lot of drivers are just going to kind of hang out a little bit, wait and see if a caution flies, then that takes the guesswork out of the stage break. But if it doesn't, you've really got to make sure you don't run out of fuel. All right, Alex Linney continues to lead. He's led 20 of these 22 laps. William Corinne credited with 1, as well as Garrett Johnson also.
So far, only 3 leaders. Not a whole lot of action so far yet. No big ones, no big moments, big wrecks or anything, which obviously is good. We get to keep the cars in here, keep it competitive, and keep drivers in this as long as they possibly can. But Alex Linney, so far so good for him, putting the hurt on.
Yeah, solid with his teammates, Horton and Johnson, all right there. 1, 2, 3 for factory HJ, but right on their tails, Jared Wishon, Nathan Yarnell, They're with Elite Motorsports. Also teammates. 4, 5, and then a little bit farther back is Jeremy Brown.
I think that's weird with what we've seen so far. We've seen a lot of teams like, getting hooked up together. And then there's kind of one driver who's kind of the odd man out, back a couple positions, trying to fight his way back up here. We have seen some teams drop back to pick up a driver. We've seen, the driver who's the odd one out power forward. We'll see. But it's interesting to see that so far. Beginning to see a trend, especially with goat racing and balls out. There's always kind of that one odd man out trying to fight his way back up.
All right, Liddy, Horton, Johnson, Wishin, Yarnell, Anthony, Weaver, Gray, Brown, and Jones. That's your top 10 here. Right now, Fords are dominating. Oh, caution's out. Caution's flying. Matt, Justin Lewis, Andrew Pileshi. Drivers caught up. Well, there goes the caution and the stage.
Let's take a look at what happened here. See if we can get it pulled up.
Looking at Andrew Pileshi and the 7 of Horton right here as they cross the start finish.
There's the in the 87. That's Woodrum in the 87.
Try to see just where.
Right about.
Oh, looks like there's an
maybe
off-center push with the 91 of Pileshi and the 7 of Lewis.
If we can get an above view, that may give us just a bit of a better kind of understanding of what happened there. You see it can all fall off the rails right there. Let's take a look. Yeah, off-center push. What it looks like. Let's see. Goes down just a little bit. Looks like.
Oh yeah.
Maybe just a little bit of contact. Yeah, not a square push. Got the rear bumper and round it goes.
Yeah, it collects the 87, unfortunately. Number of drivers also involved, the 8.
Yeah, clear.
That's Maurice Burnett.
Yeah, a lot of good drivers caught up in that one, unfortunately. And more than likely, we'll see guys come down pit road. I would assume.
You are absolutely correct.
Yeah, this early on in the race, you cannot afford to speed on pit road.
No, not everybody's coming on pit road. Some are going to gamble, stay out.
I believe, I don't know if the stage got canceled out. I think it does. With that caution, we'll see. Taking tires as well. Some took fuel, some took tires. See what kind of advantage that'll give.
Yeah, I think the stage is still in play. Checking with race admin. Yeah, the stage should still come out, so maybe a quick yellow. We'll see how this all plays out. But that certainly changes up everything here. That puts Nathan Yarnell out in front and Balls Out Racing in second and third with Michael Anthony and Jordan Weaver. Wyatt Gray is also up there, as well as Jeremy Brown. Jones, Merkel, Lindgren, Thomas, and Smalley.
It looks like just a quick caution here. Nothing like the big one or anything, but certainly a unfortunate one. Took out a couple good drivers there, but Nathan Yarnell, Michael Anthony at the point. We'll see what they can do with the lead.
It's like we have one driver retired. We saw the 87 unfortunately get doored in that incident, and he is retired. That's Pete Woodrum. I think the lights will go off on the pace car this time by. And we'll catch the green going back, starting lap 29. Which they'll go for 3 or 4 laps, and that caution will fly for the stage.
All right.
Field is forming back up there, a little strung out a bit here, but plenty of time to catch up, especially on a super speedway.
Yeah, you got a lot of time. You're not even halfway through this race yet. You got about 20 laps until halfway. So you have plenty of time to make moves, get yourself back up front, get comfortable. One thing that I am curious to see what will happen here on this restart is if we'll see a consistent outside line, because that's one thing we've not seen, is a decent outside line get started. But we'll see how that'll play out. I would doubt those guys would want to do that just for fuel-saving reasons, kind of stay in line, get the draft. But we'll see. We don't know who will get the guts to do it first.
Yeah, that outside line really hasn't. No, that's been a very fickle thing. We've covered a number of races here. We saw in our exhibition race last week where that outside line really didn't have the wherewithal to really mount a charge much. But then again, we broadcasted the INRS Race Series last Thursday night, and that outside line dominated. So it really it's a little fickle.
See how dominant it'll be. Didn't see a whole lot. We did see that towards the end of that exhibition race, it did come on pretty strong when guys knew, okay, this is it. I got to go up and win this. But we'll see how this will play out here as we get ready to go back to green.
All right, pace car drops off. It's all in Nathan Yarnell's hands.
Here we go. Right back to green here. Look at the run that outside line gets, and immediately down on the inside goes Michael Anthony.
Wyatt Gray finds himself nose down a little bit, and he's showing right now he's out in front from that outside line. He's got some good help behind him. Got the 4 of Brian Jones back there. Oh, he drops right down, plays in front of his teammate. Go in front of Michael Anthony.
You can see that outside line just looks really disorganized. Guys not really kind of finding their spot, kind of all over the place. A lot of shifting going on, but that outside line straight as an arrow.
Well, and we're 3 wide. These guys know there's 4 laps to go.
Deep. Yeah, 3 wide, 3 rows deep. 2 rows deep now. Wow, look at the run the 37 got there of Justin Horton, powered that outside line. We may be seeing 3 wide here.
We are about to see it. They know the top 10 get points here, and that's going to be critical. These points here are awarded just like they are on Sunday.
Lines forming up here. We'll see how this will play out, but we are starting to see some variation. Who's going to commit?
So that's William Corinne to the outside. He's made a run a couple of times up to the front. He's got some help from a GOAT Racing driver behind him. He's hanging tough on that outside line.
And did lead a couple laps early on. I think he has 1 tallied on the board. It is currently Brian Jones up at the point of that number 4 home field apparel machine. And Corinne trying to get this lead here. That push kind of dies out.
Oh, a little bit of a jump.
Yeah, look at Wyatt Gray there trying to find a line to go with. He'll get stuck in the middle.
Oh, do a door. There was a little contact there as well. As we are 3 by 3.
It's almost, what, 5 rows deep, 3 wide?
2 laps to go for the stage. Pits have closed.
Top line struggling now. A lot of guys jump down to that middle line.
Again, what will happen? We'll take the flag for the 33rd lap, and then once that lap is complete and the 10th place car crosses the line heading into lap 34, the caution will fly. Oh, there's some contact there.
Whoa.
Oh, there's wrecking.
There
we got
go.
a wreck. Caution flies.
That is the 39 of Fisher. That is Jared Wishon. Pretty much everybody else getting through that clean. Doesn't look like a lot of damage to either cars.
Up 17, the 54 involves. Jared Wishon, Watts, Ty Bostic also unfortunately got a little bit of damage there on that one. But that will, unfortunately, this caution will come out at the stage point, so our stage will be under caution.
That'll give us time to announce your stage winners. Let's go ahead and take a look at him here. It is Michael Anthony will win stage 1, Wyatt Gray 2nd, Nathan Yarnell 3rd, Brian Jones 4th, Jordan Weaver 5th, Zach Lindgren 6th, Jeremy Brown 7th, Kyle Smalley 8th, Todd Merkel in 9th, and Chuck Van Scoik rounds out the top 10 for stage number 1 and the final stage of the night.
Well, that was exciting. That wasn't exactly how I was thinking that stage was going to come down, but hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, certainly a wild finish. It wasn't, the entire field getting taken out, just a light spin for a couple cars, but definitely I don't think these lead cars anticipated that was the way that was going to end, but we'll see now how many of these guys will come down pit road, because I think we only saw about, did you say 8 or 9 cars come down pit road last time?
Yeah. All right, we're keeping our eye on the 17 of Jared Wishon. There's some contact right there. And now we're 4 wide. That typically does not work.
Not usually, and Daytona is one of those kind of weirder tracks. You see it at Talladega all the time. You can see 4 wide easy. They don't even have to blink to go 4 wide, but this track just isn't quite wide enough for 4 wide. You can get 3 wide pretty comfortably, though.
All right, you saw the 5 and the 17. 5 made looks like the 5 got a little squirrely as they were coming off there. Let's just double check that real quick. So watch you see the 37 to the outside. The 5's in front. That's when they're 4 wide. The 5 kind of pinches down a little bit. That kind of squeezes them together. He's just not comfortable in that position. 37 is nose up at the outside. And that also now you can see the 5 is out of shape.
Yeah, that's what you call a rapidly closing door. 17 goes around there after getting that tap from the 5. And nose tap there. Pretty much everybody else getting through it fine.
And you're sitting there like that, you feel like you're a duck waiting to get popped.
Yep.
All right, with that, you see the 17 of Wishon in the pits as everyone has made it through a cycle here of pit stops.
Like everybody making it through just fine. That was about most of the field there taking out a couple guys up in front. Did not pit, so they will stay out.
No, it looks like everybody pitted. Everybody has made it down onto pit road. All right, full field has come in for their pit stop here with 65 or so laps to go. So the initial drama, is the stage points. There's money there in the big picture. That stage winner adding some points to his tally. You want to definitely be able to get some points through a stage win as you compete. It's not like you can win a race and guarantee your position. It's all going to come down to points.
Now, what are I believe that they copied the new NASCAR format going back to the chase. I believe that's the new point system for the series now.
It is exactly the same. So top 16 drivers will advance into the chase. Points will still continue, but those drivers will get a bump. And then they'll run 10 races to award a champion.
Yeah, this is going to definitely reward finishing races. Even if you finish like 3 laps down here, you still finish the race, and that's points you wouldn't have gotten had you just decided to park it and pull it in. We saw it Austin Dillon this Sunday, basically driving a modified out there, but he's getting those points, trying to keep himself in this title fight. Even in race 1, it still means a lot.
Just 2 retirees, I believe we have tonight. Ryan Pittman in the 08 called an end relatively early, and you saw with the incident with Pete Woodrum in the 87. Both those drivers have retired, but still 41 drivers continue. One driver still on pit road is the 5 of Greg Stone, involved in that last incident. He is getting some repairs made before he heads back out. All right, 40 drivers still on track as the lights are off on the pace car. Next time by, Luke Bullard in that 3 Southern E Motorsports car will take the flag. He is in charge. He's got Phil Van Nortwick to the outside from Unite Motorsports. Good to see those seasoned drivers up front.
Yep, kind of a split-up field here now. A lot of kind of mixing and matching here, kind of a grab bag of drivers and teams kind of split up here. So we'll see who starts to find themselves earlier as we get ready to go back green.
All right, into the United Rentals restart zone, and the green flag flies here. Back underway with 65 laps to go.
We are back green. Bullard in the 3 leading this field to green. Got the 41 of Ramirez behind him. Giving him a push. You can see a lot of weaving and bobbing here. The 25 of Ramirez.
It's one of those glitches we have with iRacing that sometimes the paint doesn't match the number on the board. All right, the official Stage 1 results are in. Michael Anthony wins the stage, Wyatt Gray in second, Nathan Yarnell in third, Brian Jones in fourth, Jordan Weaver in fifth, Zach Lindgren in sixth, Jeremy Brown in seventh, Kyle Smalley in eighth, Todd Merkel in ninth, and Chuck Van Scoik in 10th.
There you go. There's a lot of racing left to do. 63 laps to go here. Not even halfway through this. These guys are flying. In front is now Nathan Carroll, the number 63 machine, finding his way up front. It is Phil Van Norwick, Todd Merkel, and Marco Berube in the 99. That's that top line there. And look at the run they got. Now Luke Bullard losing a lot of speed there. He's got some damage on the front end of that machine, and that's holding him back just a little bit. So he's going to fall back to 5th place here as that top line gets the run they need, and they take over the inside.
See Nate Carroll move out in front in that 63. He's got Phil Van Norwick in the 24 behind him, Todd Merkel in that bright yellow. Number 2 sits in 3rd.
Didn't call for Van Norwick there, abandoning the inside line. So he'll go with Yarnell and Merkel, the 55 and the 11.
All right, continuing to race. The outside line looks like they're doing a little bit better. That 24 and the 55 of Nathan Yarnell trying to make a little bit of hay there with the 11 right there of Austin Call.
Yeah, they're going to try. They're picking up some cars for sure. A lot of front runners we saw earlier on there trying to get their way back up into this field.
Number of the GOAT Racing diecast guys are now finding themselves cracking, knocking the door to top 10. Sammy Harrell right there. He's got Aiden Lucas all right there.
81 into the wall. That's Corinne. He made a light tap there. He's got some front end damage. We're 3 wide in the back there. But Alex Lenny now in the 23rd spot, who was your leader earlier on in this race. He's trying to fight his way back up to the front.
Yeah, he's right now sitting in 22nd mid-pack. Like we've seen here, though, anything can change any given Sunday.
Yep. One of those racetracks.
Three wide in the back. See the 7 of Justin Lewis to the outside. Car that was in the middle decided to just duck down to that inside line. Nathan Carroll continues to lead this field.
Did a good job of it, too. That inside line has stayed pretty level-headed so far.
Todd Merkel has found his way up to second. Of course, he now leads that inside line as Nathan Carroll jumps up to the high side with Luke Bullard behind.
Is Merkel now to the point. We're leading Berube, Carroll, and Greichen. And Bullard, that rounds out your top 5.
Marco Berube, member of that Unite race team. A little bit of beating and banging there, 3 wide as we get a little bit deeper in the pack. Team kind of spread out through the field. wants
They've
to.
gotten just a little bit spread out.
What's that?
So they've gotten just a little bit spread out here. You can see that top line is definitely falling back, kind of like we saw earlier on in this race.
Sitting at the 5 is Greg Woods still in the pits. Maurice Burnett did finally make it out. He was in for a couple minutes on pit road. Unfortunately, the 8 is by himself. He is on the backstretch now, and this field is going to run him down. But you're right, Noah. They're kind of broken apart here for a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm certain that this is some sort of fuel saving strategy here. It really does look like it.
All right, 46 laps complete. They went in on lap 34, 35. If we assume they're going to have 30 laps, then we should see them sometime around lap 65 or so. That is just about 20 laps from now.
Let's see if they can make it that far. It is kind of a funny coincidence that every time we have seen a fuel window open up, caution comes out.
Fair. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, if they pit on lap 65 and we know they need to make it to 100, then that oddly puts them needing one more stop. It's 30 gives you 95. Now that doesn't take into consideration fuel savings, what you may be doing in your drafting, whether you're out in front or whether you're 2, 3, 5 cars back. So all those are wild cards that we can't calculate here in the booth. All we can do is ponder and guess.
Pretty much. I mean, we're kind of out in the dark there, but one thing is for sure is that Todd Merkel's done a great job so far, getting up in this lead here. It is Ford, Chevy, Ford. I think that's a Chevy there. Chevy, all the way back to the Ford machine of Brian Jones. We haven't seen a lot of manufacturers work together. I mean, that is to be expected. Have seen a lot of teamwork, however, and I think that as we get later on and teams kind of start to find their mojo, we're going to see a lot more of that, I think.
Solid work so far by Todd Merkel. Out in front, doesn't have any teammates out there. And unfortunately, these guys find themselves running up on that 8 car we spoke about earlier of Maurice Burnett. And Maurice will find, now there's a wreck. Caution
flag will fly. That's a 43 machine, I believe. Oh, and a huge wreck here. That's a 43 machine.
Sammy Harrell.
Yep. Looks like he went around first, and then a couple more cars got collected. I believe Van Nortwick was in that one as well.
Number of cars went off track. Bostic, Lucas, Wishin, Sammy Hero involved. Let's take a quick look at what happened to Sammy.
Everything looks fine. I'm guessing it may have something to do with a lap car. We'll see here. So they're 3 wide at this point.
And that red car to the inside, that is a lap car of Maurice Burnett. There's contact right there with the 14. Oh, there it is, right there.
Yeah.
Did he come down? Let's to get behind that
here.
4 real
It's really
quick.
hard to tell. It looks like they both kind of converged, kind of went for the same space. Let's see.
Try to find the 4. That's Brian Jones.
Yeah.
We go.
All right, let's take a look here.
That
watch that steam.
Yep. Looks like the 4 came up. Yeah, the 4 came up.
Yeah, just a little bit there, yeah, and then it really is hard to tell. I don't think 43 may have gone down just a touch. It is really hard to tell there, but it looks like the 4 did come up just a touch there.
22 got involved. That's Ty Bostic, unfortunately, there.
Oh. You can tell the way he shoots down on the track there. Something definitely broke on that car. Like there, 24. Everybody coming down pit road. That quite literally is everybody.
That is very busy pit road here.
Wow.
Lots of opportunities for mistakes, but so far none made, I don't think. Looking for any checking. I don't see any black flags, any speeding penalties. All good. Good job by these drivers.
Yeah, so far on pit road it's been clean. We haven't seen, besides the goat racing guys, not a lot of green flag pit stops, which granted can sometimes save you a couple cautions, but so far pit road's been pretty quiet tonight.
This completely changes up the fuel window. So now let's go back and take a look at this real quick. Now that's lap 51. If you can make it 30, that gets you to 80, and then you've just got one more stop to make. So this caution flew pretty much at the right time. To now, all they need is one more stop to make it to the end.
And I obviously don't think that you'll be able to save fuel to the end. If you do that, you'd have to be in like the very back of this field running like quarter throttle in the draft, just kind of hanging there. But I do think a stop will be necessary in later on. I think we are officially halfway through. This is lap 52 here.
Yeah, there'll be one more stop somewhere between laps 75 and 80 or so, and then that should take them through to the end.
And I feel like when these cautions do come out, I feel like you're going to see most of these guys come down for like a splash of fuel, just kind of get that tank topped back up, just for fuel strategy's sake. That is kind of what we see on Sunday. It'll be interesting to see, for sure.
Absolutely. All right, so Todd Merkel retains he's got control with this league. If you go in, you're coming out the leader, you do have lane choice. He's elected to take the outside. Nathan Carroll to the inside here. Nice wild paint on that Wildish 63 with Wildish Motorsports.
It definitely sticks out for sure, and I think the one car you can definitely spot out with the naked eye is that number 2 machine of Todd Merkel. Neon green, can't miss it at all. One scheme that has caught my eye a little bit looking back is Calvin Allison, fitting last name because that's a Davey Allison tribute scheme in the 88 machine. Pretty cool to see that.
Yep, pretty cool.
Pace car lights are off. We'll see if it'll make that turn. Looks like yes, it will. Going back to green, it is Nathan Carroll. It is Todd Merkel. That's your top 2 leading these 2 rows here. Through the United Rentals restart zone, we are back to green at Daytona.
Good restart. Listen, the outside line was a little bit of a drag there, but they picked it up and solid door to door.
A little bit of a space there on the inside line there. Looks like it may be seeing some 3 wide already. guys dipping down to the inside there. Will Merkel go to this inside line? We've seen a lot of leaders do that on the outside. They'll go down and try to take. Yeah, look right there. We just saw it right there. The 11 of Austin Call and the 2 of Todd Merkel on the outside take over. Really tight racing right there. Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether that was the way he did it to make a move or to make a block, but either way, he's down there. But up front, Matthew Greitchen in the 10, who we saw in the back of the field with Factory HJ, now finds himself to the point. Big push by the 39 of Jordan Fisher.
Yeah, he fought for that one. He really had to get that outside line to work here now. Oh, Carr dipping way down on the inside there. So he has an issue. He'll try to rejoin, but up in front on the outside line there, that's John Ledger, our exhibition race winner. He's going to try to get a taste of the real thing of the 250. Here he comes. He has a push from the 14 machine of Michael Anthony.
Solid race so far by John Ledger. Take a look at that chart to the left. You can see he was at back as far as 29th. Up here right now leading, and you can see at those pit stops, he took 4 tires the first time right around that stage caution, but then that last time in, fuel only.
Wide here. Yep, 3 wide. That's a lot of moving around going on.
There certainly are. Oh, GOAT racing car in the middle, a little squirrely. That's the 21 of Matthew Wood. We saw Matthew Wood last season really put in the time and win some great races.
Yeah, he definitely put in some work there, and the outside line starting to form up again here. And look who's second. It's leading the outside line there, middle line, excuse me. Now
they are bunched up tight here.
Linney's back up.
18 to the outside with the 42 of Alex Linney, and they are beating and banging here as Alex Linney pushes the 18 to the front. 18 drops in front of John Ledger on the inside and leaves a 42 with the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell behind him. To the 21 of Matthew Wood to the outside in that third line. He's looking for some help, finds it, but isn't enough.
Yeah, they are squirrely right now.
That third line has settled down a bit, but then, just like you say that, someone pokes their nose out and says, nope, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, Maxwell Caldwell to the lead of the 94 machine. Kind of from out of nowhere. He's fought his way up to the front really hard here. He's going to block any way he can here. He wants to keep that first place spot.
Max started 28th and is now currently leading this race with 43 laps to go.
One thing I will say that is kind of odd is you don't see a lot of these guys fighting to, I guess, give up the lead. Like we said earlier on, you kind of don't want to be in first at Daytona earlier on in this race. And we saw how it didn't take super long. It took about 10, 15 laps for Linney to get back up in the 42 machine. But right now, first is the worst place to be. You have a lot of fuel saving to do if you're going to want to lead this pack. And Caldwell is fighting for that spot. We got a car into the wall. It's 11 machine of Austin Call. He makes contact with the wall there, and we go 3 wide. Close call there.
Holds it together. Austin Call keeps it pointed in the right direction. We continue under green.
Still Lenny up in front. Behind him it is Wyatt Gray, John Ledger, Michael Anthony, and Fisher. That rounds out the top 5 here in this group. And Fisher, we saw him in the duels, not in the exhibition race, had it. I mean, he had the lead coming to the line there, got spun. That opened the door for John Ledger to win. And now those two are just one position apart.
Lenny out in front, back to the point where he led so many laps initially in this race. Wyatt Gray in the 18 right there on his tail, giving him a big push. And Ledger there, knowing that's probably the safest place to be. And you know, if I'm running this race, if I'm the driver in here, if I'm sitting in third, in my opinion, that's the catbird seat.
Yeah, and one thing I will point out, the position that John Ledger won that exhibition race from was third.
There you go. All right, 61 laps complete, 40 to go. We should see pit stops coming in the next 15 to 20 laps.
Yeah, I think we will see that.
We thank you for tuning in tonight to the IWM broadcast of the IWM Cup Series here on our channel. We appreciate if you take the opportunity to like and subscribe. Join over 2,000 viewers here and of the subscribers to our channel. We certainly appreciate that, and that will keep you up informed. Each Wednesday night during the race season, we will be here broadcasting the IWM Cup Series, and then again on Thursday night, we'll bring you the INRS Racing Series. We're kind of bookend here. On Thursday nights, you'll get the race you'll see on Sunday, and on Wednesday nights, you'll see the race that just was. So you get a chance to see it before the race, watch the race, and then see it again on Wednesday.
Super excited to see it. One thing I am hearing on driver comms right now is Corinne and Lewis, and you hear a couple other drivers too trying to communicate, hey, do you want to push? No, I can't push, I have damage. Well, let's get this guy to push. A lot of guys trying to communicate who they want to be the pusher here. And that's something we saw back in the day when NASCAR allowed that full radio communication. You'd see guys warning the teammates trying to communicate with each other on where to hook up on track and try to fight your way up to the front with that driver. Thankfully, with the power of iRacing, you can kind of still get that old feeling. So a lot of communication going on right now.
Yeah, today how that happens is those guys up on the spotter tower or wherever they happen to be, you can see them running between the different spotters trying to figure out if they've got a dance partner and if someone will work with them. All right, 64 laps complete here. Still over 39 drivers on track now. Again, as Noah indicated, you know, with this new point system and not the win and you're in strategy here, every position counts, and so everything pays some points, and positions are decided by, could be just 1 point. So take it when you get it, even if you're running with damage, finish the race. All right, Alex Lenny continues to lead with factory HJ to the point here at Daytona. 18 of Wyatt Gray in second. John Ledger in third.
One thing I will note is that outside line, I see a couple hood decals there. You can probably guess who it is. It's Goat Racing. A couple of guys there.
See the 60.
Oh, big loose there.
Yeah. So big. Who is behind Cody Sturgill? I think that's Chuck Van Scoik, the 23.
Yep.
He decided, nope, that was not working. He decided to drop down to that inside line. But he gave a push to Cody that really rocked that 64.
It definitely upset that car a lot. It could also be a thing, too, of these new Chevy noses that we've been talking about. Struggling to maybe figure out where that sweet spot is with the push.
Yeah, well, that's very interesting because the 23 is a Ford, so he's got
Ford,
and he's running up in the back of the bumper of the 64. That's a Chevy. You just never know.
Yeah, and these new body scans, like we said, have changed the dynamics of pretty much all of these cars. All of them were rescanned. So maybe we see something like that in like the Car Store late model stock series. Guys get up, instead of being able to bump, you just kind of get under the rear end, pick the rear end of that car up.
And of course, that takes those drive wheels up, and will certainly upset that car.
3 wide here for Berube. He makes contact with the 94 machine of Caldwell.
Oh, contact
big
there.
Moment there.
I think that was Matthew Wood came down and had contact with the 11 of Austin Call. They were door to door there.
We are getting to lap 70 next time by. When do we think that fuel window will start to come in?
Sometime in the next 10 laps for sure. And I think it's going to happen probably for a lot of these drivers more so because they're not, in a tight pack. So when you're not in a tight pack, there's a good chance that you're throttled down a lot more than if you were nose to tail. The 2 of Todd Merkel now finds himself back there in 10th. Super easy on these large super speedways to get out of position, make a change, and find yourself rocked all the way back. Okay, we are seeing Noah, the 23, getting the push from the 21.
Yeah, and I will say something that is interesting is watching these last couple of laps, how much that outside line's died off. Pretty much everybody who was on that outside line has gone down to the inside and gotten single file.
Only takers are the 23 of Chuck Van Scoik of Goat Racing, along with the 21 of Matthew Wood, also Goat Racing. Now they're fielding 2 separate teams this season. There's the Goat Racing Diecast crew, and then there's the Goat Racing Customs crew.
Kind of like Team Penske back in the day with Penske East and Penske Racing.
A little bit of a gain on the 23. He's been able to, with the 21, hold his own there and make an advance on the front. They could use a couple more cars.
Yeah, if they can get a couple more pushers there, they can definitely get up to the front. Oh. And as we say that, he ducks down to the inside.
So the 21 does have a spot, but he elects to stay out. Nope, here he is. Dropping inside, and now we are single file all the way back.
And kudos to Alex Linney. Done a great job so far tonight. Early in the morning for him in Wales, and doing a great job so far up in front of this race, and it has just been picture perfect. Stayed out of all the incidents. Smart on pit road. He's just done a great A job tonight.
Absolutely. That's a testament to Alex there. Started P1, a high of P1, led 39 laps, and low as P39 through all those cycles through some of those incidents. Few drivers who have made it onto pit road. I think Philip Van Nortwick was on, as well as all the balls out racing guys. We should see pits happening any time here. J.R. Houston is now on pit road, making his way for his stop. He's unfortunately by himself. That's a challenge. But again, Weaver, Smalley, Jeremy Brown, Marcus Adams, Walker Thomas, all the balls out racing team guys, they all pitted lap 72. I think no, at this time, with 27 laps to go, you could pit any time. All right, we thank you again for tuning in to the IWM Cup Series here on the IWM Broadcast channel. Appreciate all of those who have tuned in tonight for the opening event here in our weekly series here. We have 36 races all the way to just past Halloween here as we mirror the Cup Series of NASCAR.
I realized I was muted there for a second, but yeah, going back off of what you were saying, yeah, I'd expect next 5 or 6 laps. Speaking of, cars on pit road, first group.
This is 1320 group. Andrew Pileshi, Austin Call, all on pit road. Todd Merkel, all the 1320 guys. Along with Austin Call of the Unite and Nathan Carroll. So a good group. You know, if you come on with 3, 4 guys and get on and off just like that, that's the way to be successful here. All right, we're expecting pretty much over the next few laps everybody to make it down. They've just got about 3 laps left of fuel in those tanks, with just 24 laps to go here until we crown our winner here of the Daytona 250.
Yeah, but I think you don't really have another choice but to pit right now. You definitely aren't going to make it on fuel. So we'll see if these guys will come in this time by. Everybody's on the inside where they need to be. Let's stay out a couple more.
Yeah. Little bunch up behind. Of course, with green flag pit stops does come with a little bit of a shake-up in the pack. So being able to pit with a group, that will help you get back up to the front.
And that group behind really timed that pit stop kind of perfectly there, where they're behind that group. So we'll see how that'll play out. It'll be I think definitely a better strategy call for them now that they're behind that group and they can kind of at liberty just kind of run to the end.
All right, big run of drivers making it in here. Oh, locking up on him. Oh, it spins.
Oh.
The 42 gets spun. The 42 gets spun by the 99 and then hit by the 64. No. That is a terrible bit of events here for the 42, who's having such a great night. To no fault of his own, unfortunately, just gets tangled up, bumped from behind.
We had just talked about, too, how careful you had to be on pit road. That was one of the first things we talked about, was at the start of this race, is one of the keys to being safe on pit road. And unfortunately, it had to come to that, and like Lenny has a little bit of work to do.
Yet, unfortunately, with that timing, he's kind of laid back a bit. He's going to need someone to help him out, or else he's going to be all by his lonesome there. Terrible turn of events. All right, more drivers on pit road. Brian Jones, Casey Herschel, Calvin Allison, Bullard, Roberto Ramirez, all on pit road. That leaves a number of drivers, Garrett Johnson and Justin Horton, both with factory HJ, both out in front. And they have, so approximately 7 drivers have yet to make the turn onto pit road, with 80 laps shown in the books. They are stretching it out to the end. Now that's an interesting strategy here, Noah. You know, there's a lot of folks that would think that, you know, you don't want to be the first to pit, but you don't want to be the last.
Yeah, you kind of want to be somewhere in that middle there, and usually how I play it out, because I run A with an AI spotter, and B, I'm not that great at pit strategy. If you start seeing a group coming down pit road and it's about, 10, 15 cars, it may be the smart move to come down pit road.
Well, that just leaves 2 left, Justin Horton and Garrett Johnson, who have not come in. Number of drivers on pit road right now: William Corinne, Sammy Harrell, Justin Lewis, all on pit road. But there's just 2 remaining who are out there.
Judging by the gap that they have behind them and how much they're moving, I would expect them to come down pit road within the next 2 laps.
They have just 19 laps to go. They are definitely using every drop of that Sunoco racing fuel left in those tanks. They're going around one more time. They have got a 32-second gap. Now, that being said, here they come. They're now on pit road.
Yep. We'll see how their pit strategy will play out. Definitely an interesting call to stay out as late as they did. But these packs are getting ready to get formed up here. It's pretty much on from there. 18 to go.
They're coming in with just 2 cars. They've got to really pedal to get nose to tail to keep their position, or they're going to be in trouble. Keeping an eye on these drivers. They now find themselves somewhere about position 20, but what that means is Austin Call in the 11 and Wyatt Gray are up in front battling for the win.
I think this is going to be the group right here. A lot of good cars in here. We'll see what kind of moves they'll make. Matthew Wood goes up to the point now. He will grab the lead. Whew.
Yep.
Getting dicey.
And right behind the 18 of Wyatt Gray is Matthew Wood's teammate in the 23. So the 11's tapping the that rear bumper of the 18, giving giving a push there. I'm sorry, the 21 of Matthew Wood giving him a little bump to move him up. That's Austin Call. Andrew Pileshi finds himself up there as well. Solid
Thomas,
battle.
Boy, yeah, a lot of good cars up in here. Sparks flying, and they are pretty much full throttle from here. Not long left, 15 to go.
Lights are on here in Daytona as this race drops into the twilight hour here. The golden hour here in Daytona.
One of the most scenic sights, one of the most scenic racetracks in the business, and it just doesn't get any better than this. Lights are on, and a lot of daring moves being made there. 15 ducking down low. Whoa, contact there. He's getting close, but Van Scoik now up to second.
He is finding a spot. These goat racing guys, they had a strategy where they started at the tail end of the pack, and we were questioning, but we weren't. We knew that they always figured a way out to get to the front. And just like that, Van Scoik and Wood both in the top 10.
Pushing it. A lot of good communication going on in here. These guys really trying to figure out how to get up front.
14 to the outside, that's Michael Anthony. And now a third lane has started with just 13 laps to go. These guys need to hold it together. That's the balls out racing team on that outside. The 11 out in front, Austin Call. The 18 of Wyatt Gray. Jordan Fisher, the 39. 1, 2, 3. You got the Walker Thompson. Oh, they're wrecking. They're wrecking right up front. The 23 goes around.
Wow. Caldwell. And yellow's out.
Caution flies here.
My, oh my, how that changes things.
It's completely upside down. Todd Merkel also involved. Saw him earlier, successful. Got some damage on that number 2. Chuck Van Scoik was in the grass, trying to get out of the grass. Saw some interesting feature now with the with these 2026 NASCAR Cup Series car. You could actually inflate the car and help them get out of the grass.
Yeah, I did see that earlier on Sunday. I thought that was a pretty interesting addition. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened. Van Scoik, you can see just struggling. A lot of damage there to the 23. So let's take a look here. It looked like it was between the 23 and the 88. Coming off 4, you can see contact barely made there. They just scraped doors. Looks like the 88 tried to come up a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, unfortunately, and that's...
And then contact there.
23 is out of shape and gets hit again.
Eesh. And Caldwell was almost through that. Bout had it in the 14 as well. Got through it fine. He made just a little bit of contact there.
See the 91 of Pileshi there, just trying to hold it together.
Yeah, Pileshi did a great job getting through there. See more contact there. 88.
Yep.
Right up into the Daytona marker.
The 23 is stalled on the track. Trying to get that 23 going. That puts him back all the way at the tail end of the field. 23 may be having some choice words for a driver or two in this. All right. A few drivers teased that they were going to come down pit road. Just a handful are in to the 88 of Calvin Allison, who was involved in that incident on pit road. Jared Wishin, Matthew Greiken, all on pit road. Member of the GOAT Racing drivers. All right, well, that now we're down. It's our fourth caution of the night. 91 laps complete, just 9 to go. By the time we go back to green, we'll probably be 7 to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be a shootout for sure. Seeing these guys coming off pit road here, a lot of good cars still in this, and now that we're bunched back up after that pit cycle, it's gonna change things a lot. Put a lot of people in a position to win.
All right, my guess is next time by, the lights will go out on our pace car. We'll get the 1 to go. And we'll be picking this up with 7 laps to go. So taking a look at the biggest gainers tonight, Matthew Wood, who finds himself now in 5th, has gained 30 spots. He was all the way back in 35th. Jordan Fisher as well, currently showing up in 3rd, plus 28. And Austin Call now leading up in the front of the field. He picked up 20 spots, as did Roberto Ramirez, and 18 for Marcus Adams. Lap leaders.
Big movers here for sure.
Yeah, lap leaders. Well, there's a ton. Alex Linney, obviously, who was unfortunately caught up in that previous incident, leads the most with 44 laps. Unfortunately, finds himself back in 27th. But sometimes all you have to do is lead 1 lap, right?
Yeah, and I believe 18 different leaders so far tonight. So a lot of guys have tasted what it feels like to cross that line first. And all of these guys are hungry now. And you can see Sammy Harrell, best 5-lap average so far. But he's back at 33rd.
It's amazing how it all plays out. And then the fastest 5 best laps. Look at those. You've seen those guys. Most of them are in the top 10. Adams, Thomas, Paleschi, Linney, and Fisher.
Yep, and I believe the fastest lap for the Daytona 500 was Carson Hocevar. He did not finish the race, so a lot of the guys you see in the back will usually be the fastest lap guy just because of how much draft they have and how quick you're going back there. I mean, you're hitting up 204, possibly on a good draft you will be, but a lot of guys on pit road there.
Yep. And there's guys that put in the time. They're back out on the track. Again, we're still here. 2 drivers still on pit road making repairs. Chuck Van Scoik in the 23. We saw what happened to Chuck and Cody Sturgill, but still who are all out. We've just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers who have retired. I'd say that's pretty decent after nearly 100 laps here at Daytona. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
All right, pace car drops off. Austin Call leads the field at the United Rentals restart zone, and we are back to green flag racing here at Daytona.
And here we go through the United Rentals restart zone. We are back to green. It is Austin Call up in front of the number 11 machine. 8 laps to go. A shootout to the finish. And it's going to be a good one here.
Wow, quickly that outside line drops down and they're nose to tail for the first 7 spots. And then they're not.
But he kind of trying to drop back in line there. We may see that outside line get a good run, and we do. Look at them surge up to the front there.
Big shakeup up front. Fisher, Gray, Thomas, balls out racing, making a push, now finds themselves 3rd and 4th.
We saw Jordan Fisher in the exhibition race, just about had it. Lost it in coming into the tri-oval. He's hungry for it. We'll see if he'll get it in contact. There's Walker Thomas goes in the 1.
Holding it together. Oh, caution. He comes back up in the track.
Hard hit. Caution's out. Wow.
Number of drivers involved here, unfortunately. Alex Linney again involved at some point. William Corinne, Matthew Greichen, Nathan Carroll, Marco Berube, all drivers we've seen up front today, caught up in this little incident that just occurred.
Yeah, and that was a pretty big wreck, too, we saw after the fact. A lot of guys caught up in that. Let's go back and see if we can take a look at the aftermath of that. I mean, it was...
We saw the 1 involved, but that's really not even the whole story. That's contact with Austin Call in the 11th, sends the 1 around. When I jump to this here in the tail end of the pack, see they're 3 wide here.
It doesn't even look like...
Right there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Thomas had even anything to do with that.
Nope. 37 gets involved. That's Justin Horton. 46. Linney in the 42 is trying to not get involved, but unfortunately gets a tap from his teammate and winds up in the outside wall with Van Noordwijk and the round they go.
Dang. Big wreck there. I think that's the biggest we've seen tonight.
Pretty close. Now with just 5 laps to go. Only those drivers involved are on pit road. Marco Berube, Nathan Yarnell, Chuck Van Scoik from the previous incident, and still the 64 of Cody Sturgill. Aiden Lucas, Sammy Hero, a number of GOAT Racing drivers now on pit road as well.
And unfortunately not the best night for Sammy Harrell in the 43. He's been caught up in a fair amount of accidents. He's back on pit road. And this will keep Jordan Fisher as the point man. In the 39, it'll be Wyatt Gray, Jordan Weaver, Austin Call, Matthew David Wood, Kyle Smalley, Michael Anthony, John Ledger, Marcus Adams, and Andrew Pileshi. That's your top 10 here as we get ready to go back to green in a couple laps.
Yeah, that's going to pretty much put it, if we can stay green and finish up, that will be the end of the race. We'll go back to green probably with 2 laps to go.
And then it's an actual shootout.
Absolutely. All right, we certainly appreciate all of you tuning in tonight live, and those of you who are watching it later on replay to watch and keep up with the IWM Broadcast Network. We certainly appreciate all that you do. You certainly have choices as to what you want to watch. We appreciate you tuning into our channel, and hope to see you each and every Wednesday and Thursday night. also appreciate all of you who have chimed in the YouTube channel. One of members of the broadcast team, Sal, is there and says it should be a fun final laps. Absolutely, Sal. We're looking forward to it. You'll hear Sal Nicosia here in the booth a couple times this season as well on Thursday nights. Looks like the 18 is maybe saving a little bit of fuel.
Yeah, he is. Let's see if we can hear some audio on that machine. He is most definitely coasting. Way off the throttle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Wyatt Gray is clutching in, turning this car on and off. He's doing everything he can to save fuel.
Oh yeah, right there.
Yeah. He is really close on fuel if he is doing that.
Wyatt Gray pitted last on lap 78. You wouldn't think so, but you never know.
Maybe here we go. Ready to go back to the United Rentals restart zone. 2 laps to go. Here at Daytona, we're back to green. Right down to the inside line. Fisher wants all of that track space he can possibly get. Running off turn 2, a square push there from the 18 of Gray. Will we see some more shifting in the back here? A lot of movement going on. Everybody thinking they're in contention right now. Here they come. Lap 99. 2 to go. This time by. We will see the white flag. It is Fisher. It is Gray. Jordan Weaver, Michael Anthony, John Ledger. That's your top 5. We are single file up until Maxwell Caldwell 94, who was caught up in some wrecks earlier, has found his way back up to the front, but it is anybody's race right now. Caution flag is out. And they are spinning down the tri-oval. It is Houston, it is Greichen, and Jones. There's a 20 machine of Houston as well. Wow. So we will get a green-white checker. But it's Fisher up in front. Then it is Caldwell barely avoiding that one as well. It is Fisher, Gray, Weaver, Anthony, Ledger, Caldwell, Fleshy, Johnston. And there's a couple more cars in there. This top 10 is a little bit messed up here as we get ready to try to form this field back up. 1 of 3 green-white checkered attempts here. So we will see. Will we use all 3 or will we get just one? The last time we did have a green-white checkered, it was in fact it was the last race here at Daytona. It was the exhibition race. 1 green-white checkered finish. We are getting ready to go back to green here for the IWM Cup Series.
I certainly would be a whole lot more communicative if I took the mute off my microphone.
There we go. I texted you just a minute ago. I was like, hey, just making sure.
Yeah, no. Here I've been talking to myself quite informatively, quite vigorously, describing what's happening. We've got a green and white checker here. That's going to mean that green flag will fly. The field will make it back. They'll take the white flag, and then the next time by, the checker will fly. What I was talking about was, Jordan Fisher, Wyatt Gray in particular, saving fuel on the inside. But I'm more concerned about Jordan Weaver and others because they pitted on lap 72, whereas Wyatt Gray on 78. But the one thing we don't have is an understanding of just how much fuel they took on that last pit stop.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you obviously have the option to go quarter tank, half tank, full tank. Not quite sure yet, but we will. It obviously will play out as we go with just 2 laps.
Yeah, very often, these drivers will take just enough fuel to make it to the end, and unfortunately, the end's kind of continued with the yellow and now this green-white checker. So could be close.
Yep, and last time we were at Daytona in the exhibition race, like I was saying, we used just 1. So hopefully that'll be the case again. Won't have to use all 3, but we will see.
All right, Jordan Fisher elects to take the outside line. Wyatt Gray to the inside. Call it, Noah.
All right. Let's get this show on the road here. Green, white, checkered. Good jump from Fisher. We're back to green here.
Good move by Fisher to the inside and takes over that inside line. That inside line has been strong all night long.
Yep, immediately going down to the inside there. That's where the speed's been all night. big push there.
Everybody's looking to try and find a point, find a way to get to the front, inside line, outside line, finding a way to make it work.
Here comes Michael Anthony on the outside. He's got a push from Maxwell Caldwell with Andrew Pileshi and Austin Call in tow. Just about even. Look at the run that Anthony has. He's going to go all the way to the front. Will he duck to the inside? He's going to stick with this outside line. He now ducks down low. White flag this time by.
Whatever happens, happens here, folks. No caution will save you. Michael Anthony finds himself out in
Wrecking
front.
in the back. Wrecking in the back. We will stay green.
Staying with the leaders here, Michael Anthony out in front. Jordan Fisher, Wyatt Gray to the outside, the 94 of Caldwell. Oh, big move.
Oh, there we go.
Wrecking in behind. Big wreck,
There's
a total
the big
wreck.
one.
There's the big one on the last lap of the race.
The
Now-
race back.
Now we're 3 wide towards the start-finish line. Andrew Pileshi
Whoa!
to the outside.
Pileshi. Andrew Pileshi steals one 3 wide on the last lap. Slingshot engaged. Andrew Pileshi, you have won the Daytona 250.
Jordan Fisher unofficially is in second. Austin Call in third. Holy cow. He's going to
Wow.
make it.
What a finish.
Number
Fisher
of drivers.
second, Call third.
Number of drivers caught up in that wreck will let that fly as Andrew Pileshi wins here tonight.
Wow. Let's go back and see if we can get that finish again, because that was unbelievable.
So much going on here. Let's see if we can find the actual finish itself.
All right, so let's take a look here. So down the back straight, we can see already a lot of movement. We'll see if we can see the aftermath of that wreck in the back. Yeah, you can see a couple cars sliding down turn 2 there. There's where it begins right there. Push gone wrong is what it looks like.
Let's back that up a little bit.
Yeah, let's see here. It really is hard to tell. There's so many cars right there. So Caldwell, looks like it starts with him, Pileshi and Caldwell there. Yeah, you can see just like we were talking about, those pushes.
Yep.
So he gets through it. Looks like it, yeah, just wasn't square, was on the left rear quarter panel. Kind of that
Takes
sweet
out
spot.
the 94 and the 18, unfortunately.
And from this, I don't know how he wins it from this far back. I mean, just what a slingshot there. And wins it convincingly. Like it wasn't like a Atlanta finish last year. He won that outright. It wasn't a photo finish. Unbelievable. Just speechless. Burn it down, Pileshi.
He's
You
trying.
deserve that one. Wow. Heck of a win for Pileshi. From out of nowhere.
Absolutely. All right, let's bring up our race graphics. Let's take a look at what we've got here. All right, with that, we should be able to bring in Austin Call. Austin, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Yeah.
Heck of a finish.
Yeah, I mean, good points. Congrats to Andrew. Obviously, semi-teammate. Winning the race is always fun. Obviously, I would like to have gotten away with it, but hey, I'll take a top 3 for the season opener.
Absolutely.
Unite Motorsports there, you guys worked well together throughout this race. How much did team play kind of come into this race towards the end of it?
Well, we all pit together. At least me and the 1320 guys. I don't know why Phil pit so early, but I don't know if he had his own fuel issue or something. But I tried to pit with everybody, and it ended up getting track position. Obviously, I didn't mean to wreck Maxwell at one point. Just pushing off a four gets really light, I guess. But I mean, having three cars lined up at the very end, I mean, it's usually a pretty good recipe for getting a win.
Well, congratulations on your third place finish. Any shout outs tonight?
Shout out my teammates, David, Phil, and Marco, and then obviously my also teammates and Andrew for winning the race, Maxwell, Todd, and Justin. Gotta thank my family and my grandma for watching these races. She gave me a little congrats after this one. And I mean, fun race, great to start the season.
All right. Well, congratulations, Austin, on finishing in third here at the opener, and we'll see you next week in Atlanta.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, that's Austin Call finishing here in third, and with that, let's go ahead and bring in Jordan Fisher. Jordan, congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
A little bit of a crazy way to wrap up the race, but this is Daytona, and sometimes it's always you're in have to be in the right spot to contend.
Yeah, I going into turn 3 there, I saw the momentum coming up on the high side there, and I made a move to go to the high side there, and I was still somewhat clear at the time, but by the time he hit my car, he got a little bit like unbalanced in a way. So I apologize if that move was a little too aggressive, risky, but it's the last lap. It's Daytona.
Right.
Happy with P2. It was a really good race to everybody out there. It was 3 wide racing at the end there. That was awesome.
Absolutely, and great finish with that. Certainly, you came up from P31 all the way to finish second. So, congratulations on that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, from starting P31 after qualifying that low, we'll definitely take the result. Very happy with that. So.
Absolutely. Well, any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, I want to shout out Matthew Wood and Aiden Lucas getting me kind of in this league for the first time. So this is my debut race. So I'm really excited for what's to come in this league. A lot of good competitors in this league. So shout out to everybody on the track. I want to shout out Fish Speed Brakes, just working on the next gen fix, providing the best master cylinders in these cars. And I just want to shout out the broadcast, you guys, everybody that puts on this great league. And yeah.
Well, thank you very much. All right, folks, that's your second place finisher, Jordan Fisher, here in his debut race in the IWM Cup Series. And with that, we will bring in your winner for tonight's Daytona 250, Mr. Andrew Pileshi. Slingshot engaged, out of nowhere, wins here at Daytona.
How's it going, gentlemen?
Good, Andrew. How are you?
I'm doing a lot better than I was 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know you got caught up during the course of the event in a couple of other incidents, and then here you are, right place, right time.
Yeah, earlier in the race, kind of got wadded up there. Had a bad push with my buddy Justin. That's the first thing I got to say is sorry to him. He got screwed on that deal, and it kind of ruined his whole race, and he wasn't there. He was buried in the back of the pack for the rest of the race, and so sorry about that. And that kind of set the tone for it. It was just kind of trying to survive and make it through the pit stops and hopefully, have some friends around me and be up front toward the end. And that's kind of what happened, I guess. Got kind of crazy on the last lap there.
It
sure. Coming down the back straightaway into turn 3, did you think you had that shot at the win? Obviously, that push happened, and did you really see you parking that car in victory lane there?
Honestly, like off of turn 2 going down the backstretch, my whole goal was to push the 94, my teammate. I was going to follow him to the end. So if he jumped to the top, I was going to follow him. So I wasn't expecting to win. And then I guess the 39 jumped up and it kind of stacked everybody up, and we all just kind of fell apart from there. And once that happened, I didn't have to lift a lot or at all, maybe. I don't even know. And I had to run, and from there it was just hold her to the wood and try to get around them. And we had enough energy and went around them. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen at all, taking the white there for sure.
Well, congratulations on your win. We certainly congratulate you with that. And here we are in Daytona, but next week we go to a baby super speedway in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid of that place, so I'm happy we got her done now. So yeah, it'll be fun to do that. This is the best league on iRacing in my opinion, so I'm just happy to be back, happy to be in the booth with you guys at the end, happy to race with my buddies in some of the best competition there is, and really happy. Had a really crappy start to the season last year, so to get one ripped off right here at the beginning, feels pretty good.
Well, again, congratulations on that. Again, looking, you got the win. Hopefully next week, your streak will continue.
Yeah, we'll give her a shot. Before I want to hop out of here, just kind of get a shout out. Like I said, I was trying to help my team, the 1320 guys, Austin, Todd, Justin. Some of the guys had worse races than the others. You guys up in the booth, Elliot, everybody at this whole series. It's such a pleasure to be here.
You got it. Thank you for that. All right, there's your winner, folks. Andrew Pileski brings it home and wins here in the Daytona 250, the first race of the IWM Cup Series event. Noah, thoughts?
Just a great race all around, exciting race, really. A lot of really good racing. We saw it get kind of confusing there. We saw lines die out, go single file for a good 20 laps, and then it ends with a 3-wide finish. I mean, you can't really ask for much better. We saw the full end of the spectrum there, heartbreak, just pure excitement. Just great racing overall tonight, and a really, really good way to start the season off.
Absolutely. All right, so from Noah and myself, we thank you so much for tuning in to our broadcast. We hope to see you next week where the IWM Cup Series takes on Echo Park Speedway. It should be even more exciting next week. So thanks again from all of us here at the IWM Broadcast Network. Have a great night. Good night.